You're listening to Soap Dirt, the latest in television entertainment news.
Hi there, General Hospital fans. Well, there is a lot of baby-related bombshells dropping in Port Charles lately, and one of them is going to cause Lulu Spencer to explode and rage at Brook Lynn Quartermaine. And of course, it's all about Dante Falconieri. It's Belinda from Soap Dirt, and if you're not subscribed, please click that magic button. Now, let's talk about the soapy drama coming about babies, one baby in particular, during sweeps. We've seen that both Chase and Brook Lynn are devastated by the news that he is sterile and can't get her pregnant. Chase is, internalizing this. He was working out his feelings on the heavy bag at the gym this week, and I'm sure he would have opened up to Dante about it, except that Dante was telling him the terrible news that Sam was murdered. So Chase couldn't exactly bring up his medical issue after he got this life and death terrible news that really upset Dante. And Chase was being a little reserved, seemed stressed, was holding back. So Dante knew something was up, but Chase refused to tell him. He said he would tell him later. And at the same time, he and Dante were talking at Volanino's gym. Lois, Cirillo, and BLQ were unpacking the upsetting news about Chase and his lack of swimmers. So Lois feels bad, but she was talking about alternative paths to pregnancy like IVF. That's just crazy to jump to in vitro, by the way. You can just buy sperm from a sperm bank and do it yourself at home. Lots of people do it. IVF costs a fortune, and they do that usually when the woman has fertility issues, or if your tubes aren't working right, or if you have to get like a donor egg, stuff like that. I know this because I had fertility issues and I went through a lot of this, and I did IUI instead of IVF. If your parts work but the sperm isn't working, they can put it directly into your uterus, and it's not that expensive and much lower stress than IVF. So I just feel like the writers aren't Googling stuff real well. Anyway, they can get sperm. They can make a baby. I mean, Chase could even, ask his big brother, Finn, to give him some. So the kid would be related to them and little Violet Finn. So here's how we go from low sperm motility to Lulu raging. So BLQ told Lois that Chase was upset because he said he wants her to have the experience of being pregnant, and she doesn't want him feeling guilty or feeling like she is missing out. But that opens a whole can of worms, because if Brook Lynn admits to Chase she has been keeping a past pregnancy and childbirth secret, that means lots of questions. BLQ will have to tell him she gave the baby up for adoption, she was a teen, and of course Chase is going to ask who's the daddy, and then she'll have to say it's his, best pal, his partner, Dante Falconieri, that got her pregnant. And in case you hadn't noticed, this is all a huge retcon. That's what they call it when they rewrite history or invent history to fit a new storyline they are forcing on us. So that's what they're doing. So they've created this BLQ, Dante, and Cody history where they were friends when they were younger, spent their summers at camp together, and then they were teenagers when this newly invented pregnancy happened. All a big rewrite of history. This is absolute, just alternative history the writers have made up. So BLQ thinks Dante is going to be upset, but her mom, Lois, said they were teenagers and couldn't raise a kid, which is true. But Brook Lynn tells her mom that she lied to Dante by not telling him she was pregnant, and BLQ never even gave Dante the chance to consider raising the baby or to agree to the adoption or just even to know about the pregnancy. So it's hard to imagine that BLQ springs this on Chase and Dante and they don't have big emotions attached. They're going to have some emotions. In the end, Chase is going to be upset that Brook Lynn married him without being honest. That's a huge secret to keep from your husband. And Dante will be upset that she kept it from him as well. Even if he agrees adoption was the best choice, in hindsight, because of their age, he would have wanted to have a say in it back then. But I expect the largest reaction will be from Lulu Spencer. Ever since she woke up from her coma, she has been dredging up ancient history, real history at least, between herself, BLQ, and Dante. If you weren't watching, it was back in 2010 that Carly hired Brook Lynn to break up Dante and Lulu. But why was Carly doing that? Well, she blamed Dante for Michael being sent to Pentonville prison. Sonny was on trial trial for Claudia Zacchara's death, Dante didn't know that Mikey was the one who actually killed her, and she deserved the killing. And so the family was hiding Michael away. Dante had Michael extradited, brought in, and forced him to testify at the trial against Sonny. But then on the stand, Michael confessed to the killing, which was absolute news to Dante. Michael was sent to prison, and that was where he got raped, and it was just terrible. Sonny got off, because he didn't kill her. But the whole family blamed Dante and shunned him, and that's when Carly brought in BLQ to break up the couple, just for revenge. She wanted Brook Lynn to sleep with Dante and tape it so that she could show Lulu and blow up Dante's life. So BLQ wound up drugging Dante, started getting frisky with him, but Lulu walked in on them. And in the end, she realized BLQ was setting him up and that Dante was the victim of this Carly and Brook Lynn scheme. And Lulu has been bringing it up constantly since she woke up, something from 15 years ago, snarking at BLQ, no doubt to remind everybody of their animosity. So when this baby bombshell blows up, Lulu can be front and center to make everything worse. And this is not a great time for Dante to get earth-shattering news about his past and a child he's never met. The reveal that Sam was murdered by digitalis injection has stunned him, and he's amped up about Lulu taking risks and wasting the gift Sam gave her, donating part of her liver. And Dante just told Chase he can't look at Lulu without seeing Sam. And that was just as Lulu was telling Maxie she still loves Dante. She talks to her mom Laura about it as this week shuts down. So Lulu has all these unrequited feelings for Dante. He's drowning in guilt about Sam, and because BLQ is drowning in guilt over the secret baby and adoption thing, she's got to come clean to Chase and to Dante. It's messy, 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 and that means Lulu finds out soon and she's going to lose it. I'm guessing they're going to kind of rewrite more history about Dante and BLQ sleeping together as teens, and maybe how that tied into Carly choosing her to set up Dante. But bottom line, Lulu thinks she is the mother of Dante's only child, Rocco Falconieri, and she hopes that family tie will bring them back together eventually after he's done grieving. That's the one thing Lulu has with Dante that nobody else has. Or so she thought. Once she finds out Brook Lynn had a kid with Dante, who was born way before hers, I expect Lulu to be outraged and jealous and slinging accusations. She may try and weaponize this info to get Dante to cut BLQ out of his life. I doubt it's going to work out the way that Lulu wants. And of course, the larger issue is Lois knows who Dante and Brook Lynn's kid is and that he's living in the Quartermaine house. It's Gio Palmieri. Looks like Lois facilitated a private kinship adoption. That's what it's called when family adopts from within. Gio's mother was Camilla Palmieri, a cousin of Lois's. We've never seen her on GH. She's dead now. But once BLQ tells the truth, then Lois will have to come clean too, especially if Dante, BLQ, and Chase want to find more about the kid that was given up so long ago. And while I do think Lulu is going to raise a big stink and try to make BLQ out to be a villain, I don't think it's going to go the way she wants. I can imagine Dante and Chase being upset with BLQ. I think Dante will be quicker to forgive because it was so long ago when she was a scared teen. Chase may be slower to forgive simply because of the decision she made to keep the secret from him was done as an adult, not a teen. So wait and watch for the baby bombshell to come out in February sweeps and for Lulu to be the one to try and make it blow up as big as possible.
Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast, because you don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.